Sarah, I am one half of the YA room, and it is finally Halloween! Wow, that was loud. I couldn't be happier that it is finally Halloween season. Now I know what you're thinking. Halloween isn't until the end of the month. Stop getting ahead of yourself. Okay, but listen, Halloween is an entire season. It goes from the beginning of September to the end of November. Those of you who are in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere typically know that as spring, and those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere where everything is topsy-turvy know it as autumn or fall. But honestly, let's rename that entire season to the spooky season because we have to celebrate everything creepy and Halloween and witches and ghosts and everything awesome. I am obsessed with Halloween. It is my favorite holiday of the entire year. Even though Australia is like really bad at celebrating it because they're like, oh, Halloween doesn't exist. Who celebrates that? I do, okay? And it is going to be the best time of the entire year. But it was only until recently that I actually started celebrating Halloween. I mean, as a kid, of course, I'd dress up and like wander around the neighborhood and try and trick or treat. But in my neighborhood, no one was into that. This lady who lived on my street gave me a tin of cat food one time. So that gives you an idea into the extent that Australians like Halloween. But I am rebelling against my Australian neighbours and friends and anyone who hates Halloween. Seriously, what is not to love? You get to dress up, you get to eat a lot of candy that you probably shouldn't and that you probably bought yourself, but whatever, just go with it. You get to read all the spooky books, watch all the horror movies. It is so great. So this video is an introduction to my epic month that will be known as Spooktober. This month I'm going to be reading a ton of creepy books, watching a ton of horror movies, and I'm going to be talking about them. So follow me along this month, see what I'm going to be up to. There's going to be a whole range of videos. If you love Halloween, make sure you stick around, watch all of those because I'm so looking forward to filming them and I'm so excited to share them with you. But without further ado, today I'm going to be sharing my Spooktober TBR with you. This month I have chosen to read 6 spooky / creepy novels. Of course, I will definitely be trying to read more than that, but my TBR does exist and I can't just neglect it for a whole month reading horror novels. Unfortunately, I wish I could. But I'm really excited to get to some of these. Some are from publishers, some I've had sitting on my TBR for literally years, so I'm looking forward to finally getting around to them. The first book I'll be reading this month is What the Woods Keep. I was lucky enough to go to the launch of this book in Melbourne a week or so ago and I just had the absolute best time. I am so excited to dive into this delightfully dark and creepy novel and I've heard such incredible things about it. Seriously, the whole internet is screaming about this book and if you haven't heard of it, make sure you look it up, add it to your TBR because I cannot wait to dive into it. What the Woods Keep is about a girl who receives a will from her mother that takes her back to her hometown. While she's there, things seem a little bit creepy and not as what they first appear to be. And then the woods and like the forest starts calling to her and apparently there is something dark and mysterious going on inside those woods and I'm just really excited to find out what the woods actually do keep. I'm so excited to get to this novel. I cannot wait to read it and of course I'll share my thoughts with you at the end of the month. Next I'm planning on reading The Woman in the Window. This is actually an adult thriller kind of mystery novel, but I've heard such great things about it. I've heard that it appeals to fans of Gone Girl and Night Film, 2 of which I adore, so I cannot wait to dive into this one. I'm actually planning on listening to this one on audiobook because I have that in my library, so I'm excited to see how that format will support the story. I don't know that much about it. All I know about this book is that it's about a woman who is living in this house and then one day she sees something like really wrong that's going on in another house. I don't know if that's a murder that she sees, but apparently not everyone believes her and she doesn't even know if she can believe what she saw herself. It sounds like such an interesting psychological thriller and I cannot wait to get to it. Next up, I'll be reading Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. I absolutely love Lauren Oliver's work and I'm so excited to read this new thriller by her. I haven't heard too much about this one, but apparently it's about a group of friends who are obsessed with a particular novel and they create like a fantasy world surrounding it. And then one day it goes too far and one of them turns up dead. It sounds like such an intriguing novel. I'm so excited to hopefully just race through it. I am obsessed with the premise and hopefully the book will live up to what I hope it will be. The next book on my Spooktober TBR is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I have heard such amazing things about this novel. I know every time it's Halloween, people are like, have you read The Diviners? Why haven't you read it yet? Like, boost it up on your TBR. I know, okay? I am dying to read it. Honestly, I love that cover as well. I am obsessed with this book already, and from what I've heard, it's going to be deliciously dark and creepy and everything I'd want in a Halloween read. I've also heard that it's best to dive into it without knowing that much, so that's what I'm going to do. I have no clue what it's going to be about. I think it's going to be maybe about ghosts or like, from this, maybe like a fortune teller. I don't know what they're called, like one of those people that reads cards, I don't know. But nevertheless, I'm really excited to get to it. Hopefully it lives up to my expectations, but you will all know at the end of the month what I thought of it. The second to last book on my Spooktober TBR is This Splintered Silence. First of all, let me obsess over that cover. It looks so delightfully creepy. I've heard that this is a sci-fi novel, so that really depicts that clearly to me, and I'm just so excited to get into it. It says on the back that this book is like Illuminae meets One of Us is Lying, two books which I absolutely adore, and I know that this book includes like a deadly virus that killed off a lot of the Starship's people. I'm just so intrigued from there. I can't wait to get to the bottom of this mystery and find out what actually happened. From what I've heard, this book is such a fast-paced, thrilling read, and I can't wait to dive into it. And last but not least, I'll also be reading Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. Slasher Girls and Monster Boys is a gruesome anthology all about dark and twisted tales by some of my favorite authors. I've heard this book being talked about a lot, but I hadn't had the chance to pick it up, so I'm so excited to dive into it this month. I thought it would be really good to add in an anthology to like shake up my reading month. Hopefully I'll love this one, but I am obsessed with anthologies at the moment, so I'm sure I'll adore it. I've heard that all the stories are really dark and twisted and gripping. Honestly, that's everything I'd want from a book. I am so excited. I cannot wait to start this book. So these are all the books that I will be reading this month during Spooktober. I am so excited to get to all of these. I really hope I love all of these books. They definitely sound really intriguing and right up my alley. I love everything dark and mysterious, so hopefully these books will be some of my favorite reads of the year. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. What books are you planning on reading this month? Have you read any of the ones that are on my TBR? I would love to hear your thoughts. See you next time. Bye everyone!